Hey everybody, we have got a little bit of a teaser for you for Feeling Scene's bonus content, our tour through erotic thrillers of cinema. And you can have access to this if you become a Max Fun member, just joining even at that $5 a month level. Enjoy!
This movie came out in 1994, and while it did win the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Movie of 1994.
I'm going to go through the list of every movie that came out in 1994, and I'm going to be like, there are 5 I could pick that are worse than this.
The reason that I felt like this was an opportune moment to interject with this fact is that according to Wikipedia, it then went on to become one of the 20 most rented films in the U.S., in 1995. So
that makes I like this movie feels it is so of its time in that like this feeling of an erotic film could kind of like only have been made in the 90s. Like that's when these movies were made, like as like there was like a factory setting to make these. Well, there's almost no movie like this, but this kind of genre of movie. But at the same time, it feels like in its insanity, it feels like a timeless film to experience, because I cannot imagine if it's 1994, if it's 2004, if it's 2024, being able to anticipate what this movie is going to do, where it's going to go, and how it's going to do it. I feel like no matter when you experience this movie, because like I wonder about like wild things now. Like my wife is younger than me, and so I'm like, do the Gen Z, will they find this titillating? Like, will they find this transgressive or shocking? They've seen so much. Yeah. Can the, infamous moments of wild things really rise to the level of clutching one's pearls? And I watched this, though, and I'm like, there's no, like, it doesn't matter your generational difference. It doesn't matter your age difference. It doesn't matter how seasoned of a film viewer you are. It's not like, it's the most shocking thing you've ever seen. It's just, it's incomprehensible in the shocks that it delivers.
I completely agree.
Like, are you for real right now?
I could easily see a modern day, like younger moviegoer seeing this movie and thinking, wait, like this was allowed?
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways.
And me watching it 2 years ago for the first time and going, this is allowed? and also, and like the ways that it brings gender and sexuality into the plot are ways where I'm like, I am too normative to be qualified, I think, to talk about whether this movie was somehow thinking ahead a little bit in its depictions of gender and sexuality, or whether it is criminally backwards and we should bury it under a jail. I don't actually know. I don't. It's so cacophonous in how it throws everything together that I don't actually know.
Right, and that's part of the surprise, right? Because you're surprised, and we will, I'm sure, in detail explain what we're referencing here, but you're surprised that it even acknowledges certain personality types and certain things that go on with people. There's and with the conversation of gender,
and with at points, at not every point, but at points, an openness and a tenderness.
At points, right? And then
there's like,
then there's this element of it where it's like pathologizing every single kind of thing that a person could be into in a way that feels like kind of cruel through a modern lens.
And the conceit of like there are many scenes in this movie of like there's a therapy group.
Therapy group is really pivotal. It's kind of the whole movie. I texted Jordan when I was watching the movie, and I was like, I'm at the group therapy scene, not knowing that like the whole movie is essentially a group therapy scene.
Listen, we're just about to get started. I'll just wait out here for you. Why don't you join us?
Oh, this is the last thing I read.
No, I'm serious. I could just second opinion.
No,
Come on.
look, Bob,
This is my friend and colleague, Bill Kappa from New York. Why don't you sit down over there, Bill? I thought it might be interesting for you and for him if he sat in on one of our sessions.
What kind of a shrink are you?
I'm a behaviorist.
Qualifications?
Same as Bob. We went to college together. And we fought the Battle of Penn State Mental Hospital as interns.
No one's going to be offended if you want to say no.
No, Bob.
Oh, Jesus.
Nobody wants to say no. I'm Sandra. How are you, Bill?
I'm fine, thank you, Sandra.
Medical degree.
No. I'm a psychologist and a psychoanalyst, not a psychiatrist. The PhD is from NYU.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's Bill and Bob. Therapy, adieu.
So we should really to officially enter you into the world of Color of Night. This is a movie starring Bruce Willis as a therapist in New York City who at the outset of the film is with a erratic patient, and in a contentious exchange during a therapy session, his patient leaps to her death out his window, and we follow her in a real-time fall from the window to it is you're on that shot for seconds, so many seconds. And it's important to note, you will know if you are watching the correct cut of this film because there's a theatrical and there's the director's cut. And the director's cut is 2 hours and 20 minutes. So that's how you know you found the right one. You will know if you are watching the right cut immediately. Because if you do not see in the opening scene a woman filleting a gun after she has applied lipstick to not only her mouth, but all around her mouth and furiously to her teeth.
Yeah.
If you do not see that with the gun, it has been cut out and you are on the theatrical cut. So you need to go on a journey to find the director's cut because that's the one that is of the record in this conversation.
And I can speak to this journey because I went on just such a journey. Jordan had watched the movie via Amazon, and sure enough, if you look for director's cut of Color of Night, Amazon will trickily take you to a site that's sorry.
Yeah. And at the time, licensing being the shooting, moving target kind of game that it is, the director's cut was streaming on Amazon Prime at the time that I saw it, but no more.
And there's also an even longer cut, I should add, that's 2 hours and 40 minutes or something. I think it's the international director's cut that was never released in America.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.